started this gangster shit, and this the motherfucking thanks I get. Hello. I started this gangster shit, and this the motherfucking thanks I get.
Hey everyone, it's Ethan Van Sciver. This is Comic Artist Pro Secrets, and this right here, this thing that I'm holding, is a copy of Marvel Comics Secret Wars 2. This is issue number 5 of 9, so there are still 4 more of these to come. And it came out in November of 1985, right there in the box. Now, Marvel used to do these great corner boxes, which I actually found really handy as a fan and a young person buying comics. Here, you know, you've just got the Beyonder standing there, but I would look at them on the newsstand. I'd buy comics from a place called Blankenbush Drugs in Merchantville, New Jersey, and the comics would all be kind of piled up on a rack. So I would see the characters in the corner box, and I'd say, oh, there's Mockingbird and Tigra and Hawkeye. That must be West Coast Avengers. And they would put the heads. Usually they would just be heads of the characters that appeared in the comic book. And back when I was more of a superhero fan, a fan of the characters than I ever could have been of the creative people. I didn't really know too many of the names of the creators that worked on the books back then. I really just knew and loved the characters. So imagine being me or yourself at the age of 12 and seeing a cover like this one, where you've got the Beyonder on the ground looking beaten, and you've got all of the Marvel Universe. At least I would consider these guys the goody two-shoes element of the Marvel Universe, because I was more of an X-Men fan. The X-Men were always the sort of outcast, the bad guys that, perceived as bad guys, troublesome troublemakers, and people that weren't invited to the cool, classy, awesome superhero parties that I imagine that the Avengers and the Fantastic Four and Doctor Strange got to go to. Spider-Man was kind of in between. Spider-Man leaning more towards the X-Men side of things, but still, like, he was allowed to be an Avenger. He was in the Fantastic Four once. I always related to the X-Men, now more than ever. But here you've got the goody two-shoes versions, goody two-shoes characters of the Marvel Universe, the heroes, the good guy heroes that are all lined up here stupidly against the Beyonder. It says Beyonder bites the dust. Well, we'll see about that. You open the cover, and then this is really kind of interesting. Blast into space as an official young astronaut. And they show the component parts of a space shuttle here, one of the space shuttles, which were, when they were built, like in the late 70s, I think. I remember my dad talking to me like, it's only going to be a matter of time before Star Wars is real, because the United States is building spaceships now that look like they're straight out of Star Trek. Look at this thing. And back then, yeah, the space shuttle really did look amazing. But let's just point out that this ad here that says go into space, and they've got this young astronaut program here, probably was abandoned 2 months later when the Challenger exploded. This is November of 1985. It's like 2 months later. Oh my goodness, we had that tragedy. Remember that tragedy of the Challenger explosion? And the first teacher in space, Krista McAuliffe, she was killed on a space shuttle in front of all of her students. So probably, I'm expecting that over the next 4 issues, we're going to see fewer ads for the young astronaut program. But I could be wrong. I mean, I don't know how long it took Marvel to sort of yank something like this due to the events of history. I mean, these could still be in the next 4 issues. Who knows? But I'm pretty sure, this was decided to be gently, meekly abandoned as an ad for Marvel Comics. Let me just say at the outset, I quite enjoyed this issue. I hated the last issue. I really had a bad time, and I woke up this morning, thinking about having to do this video, and I was like, I don't want to read any more Secret Wars 2. Secret Wars 4, in which the Beyonder mawkishly chased after Allison Blair and the concept of love. It's stupid, didn't make any sense. It was painful reading. It was no fun. There were virtually no superheroes, or at least real superheroes. in it, and therefore this and the prior issue were both kind of a drag. But this one was really fun. You've got the Beyonder walking down some train tracks here, singing "Ain't No Sunshine." He's still moping over Allison Blair, and who is the Dazzler, in case you didn't know. Here comes a train on the tracks, and he turns around and says "bang," and wow, we've got Al Milgrom, who probably was cursing Jim Shooter. Jim Shooter basically said, must have said in the script, that the train comes apart into all of its individual component pieces, and all the people therein, also kind of floating around in midair as the train disassembles itself, and the Beyonder just stands there kind of continuing to make his way. Al Milgrom did the best he could. I mean, listen, you could see the rivets. There are only about 4 or 5 rivets floating around in the air here, but he did the best he could. It's effective. It works. It's very Jack Kirby-ish. In fact, a lot of this issue is Jack Kirby-ish. We've got Jim Shooter as the writer. Al Milgrom. Ava's in the background. Ava, you want to come down and read comics with Daddy? Okay. Al Milgrom, and then of course we've got Steve Aloha and Joe Rubinstein as anchors. I think they're the regular team here. So lo and behold, we have all the people. The Beyonder kind of gently sets them down. Even though he represents the vast cosmos, he is mega powerful, ridiculously overpowered. He has pity, and he has mercy, and he has compassion on people, and he's curious about them. He's decided to be one of them, and to just sort of try to live the human experience. But he's still heartbroken over Dazzler. Here comes a character that popped up a lot in the late 80s, and this is her first appearance. This is Boom Boom. She joins the New Mutants a little bit later, I think. Or was it X Factor? I think it was New Mutants. I hate this feature of the late 80s. This sunglass visor that Cyclops wears, and virtually every punk rocker wears, which artists drew into comics probably because it was easy to draw. Obviously, like the mutants from Batman Dark Knight Returns are wearing this. I really dislike it. Because, you know what, like, it did exist. I do remember my friend Vinny had one of these in the 1980s, but I mean, it was just as a joke. Like, people didn't walk around wearing these, at least nobody that I ever saw. So Boom Boom is with the Beyonder. She thinks he's a mutant, and she tells her story about how her dad used to smack her around. He tried to beat the mutant out of her, and it didn't really work too well. Her power is that she can make these tiny time bombs. And I gotta say, like, it's probable that I was, even though I don't think I consciously did this, Cyberfrog in the 1990s, his tongue used to implant tiny time bombs in people that would explode in 10 seconds. And I must have been influenced by this because I was reading comics all the time during this time period, and I was fully aware of Boom Boom. Yeah, this must be where Cyberfrog's tongue time bombs came from. Beyonder is whining about how it doesn't matter what you give a woman, it's never enough. And Boom Boom is listening attentively. She feels abandonment issues as well. Here we have another Oreo cookie maze. All right, let's go here. Let's try it. So far, I've had a... And by the way, people are like, in the comments, you're like, I dare you to get a Sharpie marker. I will. Not a Sharpie, but I'll use a Copic here to do this particular maze. Let's try down here. And by the way, I really... I'm doing this maze on a tightrope here, without a net. I could be wrong. And if I'm wrong and I fail... Oh, I've already failed. Oh, I've already failed. There's nowhere to go. That ends there. All right, so we got to start over again. How embarrassing. Oh my gosh. It's got to be like this. I got to get to that glass of milk. No. Failed again. Where am I going wrong here? All right, so I guess we want to take this path. You guys are probably yelling at me in the comments. I go down here and around here. All right, I think we can claim victory, but after 3 attempts, nothing to be proud of. Oreo cookies, still a sponsor. Nabisco, doing ads for all of these comic books, which thank you, Nabisco. Nabisco, come on back, and why don't you start putting ads in comic books again? We got to make these comics for kids. All right, so here we have, more of the same, more crying. But this is what I like. I like this. I remember vividly. In the 1980s, especially 1985, suddenly everything was a Transformer, and they were prizes in cereal. McDonald's was giving them away. But this guy here, see, you wanted to wear a watch. You wanted it to be a digital watch. And oh my gosh, like this guy would pop off the band, and with you bend these legs outwards like that, and you push the head down, and he became a wristwatch. But you would take him up. You'd have a Transformer that you could wear on your wrist. And a lot of kids that I knew back then had this guy. I loved him. I thought he was great. You could get one. Here it is. Look at that. You'd wear that. I'd wear this today. A bonkers robot watch. Ava, you want to see this bonkers robot watch? Come over and take a look. See if you want one. What do you think? You want to see? Look, this wristwatch here, Aves. What are you doing? Oh, you found what is that? The daddy had a toy grasshopper. You like him? Yeah, you do. You can have him if you want. Okay. Anyway, yeah. So Bonkers candy, which of course everybody here remembers, and Bonkers candy is delicious. That's the one thing that you guys have had to say about it. Ava, come here. Look at this wristwatch. How come I can't get you to pay any attention to my wristwatch? Come here, look. You're just sitting there. She's watching Sesame Street over there and kind of going through my drawers, getting toys out. Okay. Yes. What do you have? What is it? Let me see. You would like some toys. You would like a cow, a horse, and a chicken. All right, I can do that for you, but not right now. Okay, Daddy's got to finish this video. All right? Let me finish this video. I'll come up. I'll buy those toys for you. I think that's a reasonable request. All right. So anyway, sorry about this, guys. Yeah, Boom Boom is kind of like saying goodbye. The Beyonder is going to do his thing. And he's like, look, I have everything in the world. I can have everything. But what I really want is Alison Blair. And she is a desirable woman, even with the headband looking like she does jazzercise or dancercise. That's what he wants, and then he realizes Boom Boom placed a bomb in his pocket. I like this, man. I like the effect of his pants blowing out here. Very nicely drawn. Nice effect. Boom. And very John Buscema anger here. Nice anger panel from John Buscema. Once again, we've got this. Now, the current theory is that, it's just, who is it that does Reese's Pieces? That's Hershey, right? It's Hershey does Reese's Pieces. I can't read this. I'm gonna assume, I think it's Hershey, but you guys can correct me. The theory is that Hershey wanted ET, but Universal, I guess, would not would not give him a good deal. They couldn't afford ET, and they just said, well, what the heck, we'll make up our own alien named Fribgridget. He's saying something different this time. He's saying something different every single ad. My friend back home said he'd trade me his cloud skates for these. It says that's what that's translated. So I guess that's what it is. But I didn't notice they were changing the phrase that he's saying, at least in every different ad. So that's very nice. All right, who cares about this? Oh, one thing I wanted to say is it's becoming clear now. Who does this look like? What celebrity is this? Not Michael Landon. That's Elvis Presley. Look at those cheekbones. That's a nice drawing of Elvis Presley. And I'm starting to realize that, I think Elvis is who our friend Al Milgram had in mind. All right, so here's where this is probably why I love this issue so much. I would have enjoyed buying this, even though they're not really, as a kid, I would have enjoyed buying this and reading this. Even though they're not on the cover, we go to Charles Xavier's School for Gifted Youngsters, and at this point, I'd be geeking out. Beyonder drops her off. She rings the doorbell, and looks like Colossus answers the door here in his human guise, his flesh and blood guise. Colossus is always one of my favorite of the X-Men. Again, you can see where Cyberfrog kind of originates, right? I mean, just this steel banding around his arms and legs looked so cool, and it's easy to do. I mean, it's very easy to draw, and it looks good. I think Rob Liefeld copied it a lot too. And I don't know if Dave Cockrum, who created Colossus, I don't know if he originated this style of metal superhero flesh where it's banded like this. But it works, and everybody uses it. For some reason, you immediately see that and go, oh, that's metal. Whereas if it weren't there and it were just kind of, shining highlights and lowlights, maybe you wouldn't know it was metal. But so it's very clever. It's just one of these kind of little bits of comic book art wisdom, comic book knowledge. But anyway, the X-Men rush into battle. As soon as they hear that the Beyonder is there, you've got Rachel Summers. She has psychic powers, so you look at this and you go, why are you idiots going to do fisticuffs with the Beyonder? But like all of Marvel apparently that's all they know how to do. Even coming up pretty soon, even some of the smarter characters in the MCU, it's just Marvel Comics universe, but I don't mean that in the sense of the movies. I mean like in the comics. Look how great this is. It's a terrific Wolverine pose. You've got Warlock here. You've got Nightcrawler. You've got Sam, who was Cannonball. Sunspot was another one of my favorites. I just thought his powers looked cool. Colossus, and they're all, is that Rogue back there? I think that's Rogue. They're all trying to get in. Yeah, it is. And hurt the Beyonder, and of course he just throws them off, and they're like, why did we do that? And they say, because Rachel told us to. Well, Rachel psychically instructed you to do that, which is why that happened. Same reason why Iceman is gay, because Jean Grey, who is a psychic, told him he was gay, so he listened. More shots of the X-Men here, and they just, they're chasing after the Beyonder like dummies. None of this makes any sense if you realize and recognize that it's like the Beyonder is an actual universe come to life. What are you doing? You're gonna beat him up? It doesn't. I mean, even as a kid, I said, "Boy, this is real. Like it's fun, but it's really stupid." And here you have poor Boom Boom deciding to end it all. She's gonna blow herself up, but she was just faking, and then she's gonna do it for real in order to get the Beyonder to come back. Ladies, this isn't the way. This is really. This is one of my favorite parts of the book. This is why this issue was so much fun, and I can enthuse about it, even though it's dumb and it doesn't really make any sense. The Beyonder is already acting like a person. By the way, he's already acting like a bored billionaire rather than what he is. He's not human. He shouldn't have human intent. He shouldn't really have ego. He's like the universe come to life in one single person. But he takes her. Look how great this is. Look at how this is like super big concept Green Lantern or anything Jack Kirby did back then with the Fantastic Four. This is the Celestials World Complex headquarters, and you can see it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, and I don't know if these are planets or if they're artificial, but they're tied together here, and it's like it's a super enormous mega mall that's actually attached to a bunch of planets. It's such an amazing, like, mind-blowing concept that, it's pretty clear that Kirby and those guys, Stan Lee, everybody, John Buscema back then in the Marvel bullpen, were doing copious amounts of drugs. You got enormous giant Celestials here that basically have appointed themselves as the hall monitors of the universe, but they don't really move very much. They're very much like statues. But Beyonder decides just to show off. He takes her inside of the complex, and sure enough, like there's food and everything like this. It looks like a tourist trap. So he decides just to show off. He's going to pick a fight with the Celestials, and I'm very happy that he does, because it's a great scene where he just starts. Now again, this is stupid. He's trash talking the Celestials here in a very human way. He's just like, you think I give a rat's whisker, blah blah blah. I mean, that's the weirdest thing is he's like, you're also fools if you think this universe means a rat's whisker to me. Rat's whisker. That's a heck of a thing for a reference for this entity to make. So that kind of throws me out of it. But he wants to pick a fight. He's like, let's go, guys, get up, move, come get me. And then perfect. Like, this is great because then there's a page turn, and you want a page, even though nice Mile High Comics ad. We went through that page turn, and then boom, here they are. He's woken them up, and they're coming after him, and I'm like, yeah, buddy. I'm like, that is the coolest thing in the world. Once you know that these are statues, that kind of do not move. They're alive, but there isn't reason for them to do much. And Beyonder is a call to action for these omnipotent beings. It is wild, and he just sets off kind of a nuclear. Look at this explosion here! Boom, knocks them all back, and he's just doing it for fun. He's just doing it for the entertainment of the people below. There are no stakes in this battle for him, but look at what he's doing to them. Down here, the citizens, the tourists, are very upset. Boom Boom is upset too, and he has utterly kicked their asses. Look at this. He's like they're fine. Don't worry about it. I didn't hurt them. She's like, why in the world would you do that? You're scary. No kidding. Now, he offers a couple of things to her, and this is another poignant scene. She's not a pretty girl. She's 13 years old, so he says, I'll make you pretty. I'm going to give you a gift. I'll make you pretty. She doesn't want that. I'll make you older. Here you are at 25. No. Why would you want that? Why would you want to lose 12 years of your life? No. I will make you not a mutant. And she doesn't want that either. This is a nice little life lesson that the Beyonder's giving this girl who was close to, Minecrafting herself just a while ago. It's like, your life is the best. the way things are right now, I even though, you might have some troubles and some heartache, I don't think you would want your life to be any other way. So it's a nice little lesson. Look at this. Glow-in-the-dark posters, huh? 3 for $3. Yeah, very Atari. Yeah, I just want to hang one of these posters on my wall. It glows in the dark. It's a nice ad. Oh, and then you could get like neon shoelaces too, as a free gift. This is cool because it's like, for the price of an advertisement in Marvel Comics, you could create these posters. They're your own IP. They're not really any IP. But you could say 3 for $3, and yeah, some kids are going to buy those posters from you. I wonder if that guy did well. Who knows? I would love to do that. I would put some Cyberfrog posters in here. Prizes for cash. You got this guy here with a bunch of kids. Very peculiar that he's always hanging out with kids, and trying to get him to join his sales cult. If you look at this, ask for Trudy. I will if she looks like that. You can call in and you can join this club to make sales. And then, we as kids, you go through this and you go, like, these are the most wonderful gifts in the world. You could go through this and go, what would I want out of all these? And you just circled them. Because in the 1980s, we weren't spoiled, and we didn't have iPhones, and Apple wasn't really a thing to speak of. So, you needed a boombox. You know what I mean? You needed, like, binoculars. You needed all of these things, a watch. You needed that, a camera. All of these items were, like, super desirable because you needed them individually. But also, it's just like, look, a baseball glove, remote control car. Yeah, like, I want all of this. But not the doll. I don't want the Cabbage Patch Kid. Is that a Cabbage Patch Kid? Yeah, it is. I don't want the Cabbage Patch Kid or the clothes. It's for girls. But everything else, yeah, look at this. Awesome. Yeah, I would like walkie-talkies. I'd run around the neighborhood with my friends. What is this, Dungeons and Dragons? Yeah, Dungeons and Dragons here. Yes, please. So very, very tempting. It makes me want to join the sales cult. Meanwhile, our boy Beyonder's listening to some Dazzler music and crying. And Boom Boom does what she does. She calls the Avengers up and mentions the Beyonder's name. And then, yeah, they're all ready to go. Do you know where he is? We're looking for him. She goes, I can get him here. Again, by the way, this is the single best issue so far. I really like this. She goes back to the campground he created, and then calls for him, and he shows up because he's lonely. He's sitting there listening to Dazzler records, and he's made a friend, and he thinks he's made a friend, but Boom Boom viciously betrays him. I mean, the stupidity of these characters. She puts bombs in him, and his clothes blow up, and then surprise! Here are the Avengers, West Coast and East Coast Avengers, and then also the Fantastic Four. Even though I don't think you can see him here yet, She-Hulk is there. She's in the Fantastic Four, but here this is how I feel some days. Look how great this is. This is very Jack Kirby, where it's just boom, boom, bang, crack, wow. Everything hitting him at once. Like, maybe we could beat him up. Maybe we could beat up the Beyonder. It sounds like a good idea. And look who's part of it. Like Reed Richards. Don't give him time to think. With the flick of an eyelash, he could atomize all of us. Reed isn't that smart, as it turns out. Or Jim Shooter isn't. But, Reed Richards would be like, hey, guys, hitting him isn't going to help. Okay? It's not going to change anything. He could pretend to be hurt, which is kind of what he is here. He's allowing them to beat him up because he's feeling sorry for himself. So he gets to his feet, and so Captain America, after beating him up, Captain America has the best advice. Why don't you go back to where you came from? He is where he came from. He is the physical manifestation of an entire locality. Like, there is no where he came from is where he is right now. Like, he is it's like he's a turtle. Well, not a turtle. That's not a good metaphor. But anyway, no, he can't. He tried to bail out. It's no use. He can't do it. So now what are we doing? He's wandering off. Should we stop him? No, let him go. Let him out. Maybe he'll wander home. Yeah, maybe he'll wander to the big, gigantic vacuum he left behind. 10 points, I win. So he's actually, as he walks away, he's muttering what Boom Boom used to say to herself when somebody would abandon her. She would say, 10 points, I win. Now Beyonder is saying that. And they lost Boom Boom. It's so stupid. It really is dumb. When you're a kid and you're reading this, you're like, yeah, you're with them and you're concerned. But these characters are behaving in a very low IQ way here in this particular issue. But man, is it fun. And then you have Bullpen Bulletins, which is Jim Shooter and Bob Layton. I guess these two guys really liked each other a lot. Bob Layton, the artist of Iron Man, drew this image of himself here looking super cool. This would be Jim Shooter, who was 20 feet tall, dropping an anvil on his head. So a little self-deprecating humor. This is what I love about Marvel Comics back then. Again, one of the things that I love is not only are all these books interconnected, or do they seem to be, but here's a checklist. And there are a lot of books, but I could get them all over the course of, I might be able to get them all, or at least I know, what's out there, and you just go through it and you just go, thank you for this. You don't really have this too much with Marvel anymore. You'd have to go to the comic book store and just kind of, you might have heard that some things were coming out, but everything they're putting out that month is listed here with the little checks. You can go, well, I definitely got Fantastic Four, but all the other weird stuff too, where you're just like Quest Probe Limited Series issue 3, featuring the Thing and the Human Torch, and I'd be like, Quest Probe, but it's got the Thing and the Human Torch. In the latest adventure in the Scott Adams computer game series. Now, I saw this and I said, the Dilbert guy? Scott Adams back then, was, I guess I don't know why they're giving him so much press for having created the video game, but he did. He programmed a video game back then. And it isn't that Scott Adams. Like, this is the Scott Adams that they're referring to here. The guy who created Quest Probe for Marvel Comics, which was kind of like, it was kind of one of these choose your own adventure video games, but it had like really bad, like, well, I mean, early primitive graphics. So you'd get to say, I'm going to go down this cave. I'm going to make a right. And then there would be this kind of image of you meet the Hulk, or something like that. Anyway, that was this guy. I remember playing all of those games. I remember them vividly, so it's great that he's still around. This gentleman got him for an interview. I actually was curious about it. I didn't know if Scott Adams was, our Scott Adams or a different guy. Yeah, there he is. Good for you, sir. Finally, on the back of the comic book, we've got a honeycomb ad, and it's great, man. Post is giving Marvel Comics money, too. You want to know why comics are failing right now, and they're not doing as well as they used to do? Because they're not creating entertainment like this, and they're not aiming it square at kids. They don't know what kids want. They don't know what this generation of kids is about. Not the way that they understood my generation when we were kids, and they really did understand what we were about, what we liked, and they gave it to us many, many, many times, like, a whole checklist worth of incredible comics every single month. And it's so much fun to look back at them now and to read them with you. I hope you enjoyed this review. If you did, please leave me comments, like this video, share this video, subscribe to the channel. I still like to do live streams, but live streams kill, the algorithm kills my channel. If you guys wouldn't mind, please check to see if you're still subscribed. If you're not, subscribe and rejoin this channel. Back Cyberfrog 3, Red Extermination, and all my other comics. The link is below in the description. And I'll be back soon. I'll be back a little later with a review for Secret Wars 2, number 6. I hope you'll join me there. Bye. Hey, you want to follow me on Twitter? Are you sure? Well, if so, I'm at Ethan Van Sciver. That's at Ethan Van Sciver. See you there. Hey, I got a P.O. box. Want to send me some mail? Send it to Ethan Van Sciver, P.O. Box 607, Marlton, New Jersey, 08053. And I'll probably open it up on the live stream. Thanks very much, everyone.